Welcome, deep divers.
Mhm.
Have you ever stopped to think about how some of the simplest words we use are often the hardest ones to actually say? You know, we teach kids please and thank you almost from day one, but what about that other little word? Just 2 letters.
No.
Exactly. No. It can feel, well, difficult, like you're putting up a wall or refusing something, maybe even being a bit rebellious.
Yeah, it often gets a bad rap, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Seen as negative.
It really does. But what if saying no isn't really about negativity at all? What if it's actually something profound? Like an act of preserving yourself, a spiritual discipline even.
A way to find balance.
Yes, an essential way to get that real internal balance. So today, we're doing a deep dive into exactly that skill, that talent that's often overlooked. D's are known saying no. And we're going beyond just the everyday stuff, the practical side. We want to explore the deeper spiritual side, how it helps us set limits, find that inner equilibrium.
And live a more sort of purposeful life.
Precisely. And our source material for this exploration comes from some really insightful excerpts. They're from a talk by Mayse Braga.
Mayse Braga from the TV Coming On YouTube channel.
That's the one. And it's just this rich mix of personal stories, spiritual teachings, practical wisdom, all circling around this one powerful theme.
Saying no.
Saying no. So our mission today, it's to unpack the surprising ways, really surprising, that saying no can actually lead to self-education.
The renewal, yeah. Changing attitude.
And discipline, right. Disciplining our inner forces, ultimately leading to a more balanced, more purposeful life.
It sounds counterintuitive, but it makes sense.
It really does. So get ready for some, well, unexpected stories and some depth insights. They might just make you rethink this simple little word. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Let's find its true spiritual weight.
It's definitely potent.
Yeah.
Because, no isn't just about turning down an invite or refusing a request from someone else.
Right.
Often, maybe most often, it's about an internal boundary. It's like making a commitment to yourself, to your own well-being.
To your spiritual path.
Exactly. And the stories Mayse Braga shares, well, they give us some really compelling evidence of this. Some pretty remarkable narratives, actually. Miraculous, even.
That difference you mentioned, external refusal versus internal boundary, that's so key. And it sets us up perfectly for our first story. We're starting with a story that really embodies this idea of a profound no coming from, well, the spiritual world itself. It's about Raul Teixeira.
Ah, yes, Raul Teixeira, an extraordinary figure, speaker, medium.
A tireless worker in the Spiritist movement, especially known for his work in Niterói, Brazil. Just immense dedication, always traveling, giving lectures. Mayse Braga talks about one trip to Maranhão.
Oh, yeah, the grueling one. 4 lectures in 3 days.
In that heat, too. He really poured everything into his mission. And just as a little side note from the source, apparently Paulo Gustavo, the comedian.
The one who passed from COVID.
Yeah. He was actually one of Raul's quiet collaborators, supported his work with teenagers very discreetly.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That shows the reach Raul had.
Exactly. It gives you a sense of his impact.
And it's that dedication, that almost, superhuman drive that kind of sets the scene for this critical moment in his life.
That turning point.
A huge one. About 11 years ago, Raul had an AVC, a stroke.
Oh, wow.
He was on a flight heading to New York. And the really poignant part, he'd deliberately chosen not to eat or drink anything on the plane.
To sleep.
Yeah, exactly. He wanted to sleep, save his energy. He knew he had this demanding schedule waiting for him right when he landed. Lectures, meetings.
So he was preparing himself, conserving resources.
Consciously trying to be ready for service.
Yep.
And then this happens.
So he's on the plane trying to rest, and he has the stroke, but nobody knows.
Nobody knew. Yeah. Well, it's quite something.
What happened next? The source material must detail it.
Oh, it does. Very vividly. He was unconscious for 8 hours,
Wow.
just covered with a blanket in his seat.
8 hours, and the crew didn't notice.
They just thought he was sleeping deeply. Long flight. It wasn't until they landed, people started getting off,
Right.
that they realized something was wrong.
Oh, my goodness.
When they checked on him, he was deeply unconscious, couldn't speak, and his mouth, it was visibly distorted, pulled way over to one side. Mayse Braga described it like it came over here.
How terrifying. And his friend waiting at the airport.
Waiting and waiting. Raul just wasn't coming out. They called an ambulance, rushed him to an American hospital. And imagine, he couldn't communicate, didn't understand the language, utterly alone in that critical state.
That's just harrowing, unimaginable isolation. But you said this is where it takes an extraordinary turn.
Exactly. In that moment of extreme vulnerability, physical helplessness, something incredible happened. Raul later told Mayse Braga what he remembered. crystal clear.
What did he remember?
Right after the AVC hit, he felt this strange zap in his head, like a switch flipped.
A zip zap.
Yeah. And then he saw a vision. His deceased mother. She had died young, 44, also from a stroke, a fulminant AVC.
Oh, wow. Same thing.
And she wasn't alone. Next to her was Dr. Bezerra de Menezes.
The spiritist doctor of the poor. The revered spiritual physician.
That's him. Imagine seeing them both there. The shock, the recognition, maybe even fear.
Or maybe peace. Or
Hey.
dread. What did he think?
Well, this is where that spiritual no comes crashing in. His very first thought seeing them both was crystal clear. I will have to say the biggest no of my life because they came for me.
He thought they were there to take him to the spiritual world.
Absolutely. He was convinced this was it, his transition, a moment of, profound acceptance of what he thought was inevitable.
Wow. So he's readying himself for this ultimate departure.
But then, still unable to speak out loud, he mentally asked Dr. Bezerra a question.
What did he ask?
Am I going to die?
What was the answer?
Dr. Bezerra, with this incredible calmness, Mayse Braga said, the calmness of a Sierra native, just replied, completely tranquil.
Yes.
Not yet, people, not yet.
Not yet. Oh, the relief, the surprise he must have felt. I can't even imagine.
A huge wave of it, surely. A clear, direct no from the spiritual world to his departure. His work wasn't finished.
Not yet. Those two words carry so much weight, don't they? About destiny, purpose. But the story doesn't end there, does it? He's still in the hospital.
No, the miracles weren't over. He's still in this American hospital room, can't talk, waiting for a specialist.
What happens then?
In that sterile, unfamiliar place, another spiritual intervention occurs. José Grosso appeared to him.
José Grosso, the spiritual helper known for being quite direct, sometimes even blunt.
That's the one, known for helping suffering spirits, sometimes in very physical ways with mediums. He sees Raul, sees his condition, the distorted mouth, and with that famous bluntness, he just says, but you're ugly.
He really said that in that situation. That's startling, almost funny in a dark way.
It is, and maybe that's the point. That directness is kind of his signature. It cuts through the fog, the fear. It's not unkind, just direct, no nonsense.
That sets the stage for what comes next, maybe.
Perhaps, because right after that, José Grosso, with what Mayse described as his enormous hand, just gently moved Raul's mouth back where it belonged.
He physically moved it.
Yes, and just then, the American specialist walks in, ready to assess the stroke damage, and he apparently just screamed in shock.
Why? What did he see?
Raul's mouth was completely normal, back in place, as if the physical sign of the stroke had just vanished.
That's incredible. A direct physical healing. Undeniable.
Utter shock and awe in that room, you can imagine. Tangible proof of spiritual intervention.
So what's the big takeaway from this whole incredible ordeal? For Raul, for Mayse sharing it, and for us listening?
Well, it profoundly changed Raul's perspective. He told Mayse later, reflecting on it all, our boss doesn't have a penny to pay us, but in our most difficult hours, he is there to recover our lives as long as we are useful on Earth.
As long as we are useful on Earth.
Exactly. He knew if it had been his time, he would have gone. His body was restored because his job wasn't done. His task remained.
Which really makes you think, doesn't it? What does that mean, to be useful on Earth?
That's the crucial question, right? It permeates spiritist thinking. It suggests our physical life, our time here, has a purpose. We're kept here for a reason, a task, a contribution that's still needed.
It gives our lives such significance, maybe more than we realize day to day.
Immense significance. Our presence matters.
So, being useful, how do we figure that out? I mean, Raul's experience was so dramatic. How does that apply to, us in our normal lives? How do we find our mission?
That's a great point. And Mayse Braga would say the principle is universal, even if the manifestation isn't always miraculous. Finding your usefulness isn't usually about, seeing spirits or having dramatic healings.
Right.
It's often quieter. It's about consistently using your talents, whatever they are, for good. Cultivating kindness, patience, honesty, overcoming your own faults, doing your job well, being a good friend, a responsible family member.
The everyday stuff.
Exactly. The spiritual world guides us subtly, most of the time, gives us strength, opens doors. Raul's not yet was a loud confirmation his mission needed him physically. For us, it's more about listening for the quiet yeses to our good intentions.
And saying no to the things that pull us off track.
Precisely. saying no to distractions, to negativity, to anything that hinders our service and growth. It's about aligning our will with that higher purpose. That's how we become truly useful.
That makes so much sense, connecting the extraordinary to the ordinary practice. And Raul definitely continued living that purpose, didn't he? Even with the after effects of the stroke.
Oh, absolutely. Mayse Braga mentions his right leg and arm were still claudicating. He had a noticeable limp. And talking, just normal conversation, was difficult for him initially.
Yet he kept lecturing, kept traveling.
He pressed on. And this is where that spiritual support became so visible, so undeniable. Mayse saw it firsthand on that Maranhão trip.
What did she see?
Well, despite Raul struggling to speak and just, casual chat, the moment he stood up to give a lecture, something shifted. Mayse said there was no problem in his voice. It was completely clear, strong.
Wow. How?
She attributes it to his spiritual protector, Camilo, a guide known for helping speakers and mediums, providing that energy, that clarity needed for the task. Everyone there, Mayse included, was just open-mouthed.
Seeing it happen right there, spiritual help overcoming physical limits.
Exactly. Another kind of no, really, a no to letting physical challenges stop a spiritual duty. When you're aligned, when you're useful, the support finds you.
That's incredibly hopeful. It shows that even with our struggles, our purpose can shine through and help is there. And speaking of purpose and legacy, Mayse Braga herself started something amazing, didn't she? The Saturday Kids.
Yes, an incredible story. She started it 47 years ago. She was only 18.
18? That's amazing. How did it start?
Really humbly. She said only about 10 people showed up for the first sessions. Can you imagine? That could be discouraging.
For sure.
But an elder there, Sue R.P. Banfo, told her, "Don't worry, people will come."
And they did.
Oh, they did. It wasn't just classes. It became a community, a place of belonging, spiritual learning. It grew and grew, its impact spreading far beyond Niterói.
A real testament to sticking with it, saying no to giving up when things start small.
Exactly. Consistent effort rooted in faith and service. That builds something lasting.
And it had ripples, right?
Yeah.
You mentioned Moab José earlier. He reconnected with them in Maranhão.
That's right. He was one of the original Saturday Kids from way back over 40 years ago. He'd moved back to Maranhão, his home state.
And he'd started his own centers.
Yes. After facing, as Mayse put it, a series of difficulties, which often pushes spiritual growth, right? He founded 6 spiritual centers there.
6. Wow.
So Raul and Mayse went to San Luis, partly to honor him, to celebrate his dedication, his return to the spiritual task. It showed the legacy.
Even in that intense heat, Mayse mentioned the pool of water around her feet.
Yeah. She called Maranhão the door of hell with the heat, but their dedication was total. Sharing knowledge, supporting these new centers that grew from that original Saturday Kids idea. People felt empowered to live their spiritual journey, all from that small seed Mayse planted.
Another no, saying no to letting challenges stop the mission.
Absolutely.
But all this giving, this dedication, especially for people like Raul and Mayse, it must come at a cost. That challenge of constantly being asked to listen, to take on others' burdens, saying no to that must be incredibly hard.
This is such a crucial point in the whole discussion. Mayse talks about it very openly. As you get older, she's 66, Raul 73. That energy drain gets really noticeable. It's almost physical.
Just people wanting to unload.
Exactly. She said people end up taking a lot of our energy just wanting to talk about their problems, often without really looking for solutions or, taking action. And Raul, especially after his health issues, he had to learn this. He told Mayse quite directly, "May, whoever shows up to talk, you will talk." He had to draw a line for himself.
He actually told people no.
Yes. He'd say, "No, because I no longer have the health. I had to listen to you." Mayse calls that realization so beautiful. Why? Because it's the most difficult thing a spiritist has to know, how to say no.
That really resonates. Protecting your energy to keep serving. It's not selfish, it's necessary.
It's essential. A vital no to prevent burnout, to maintain effectiveness.
And Mayse had this incredibly sharp observation, too, about why people seek them out.
Yeah.
She said you can often see clearly that people are living the consequences of their own choices.
Right, they're reaping what they sowed, essentially.
And often they don't really want new advice. They just want to hear the sound of your voice saying what they already know they have to do.
Oof, that's insightful. Just wanting validation, comfort maybe, not the push to actually change.
Exactly. So how do you handle that? Be compassionate without just enabling the pattern.
It's a delicate balance.
Oh.
And it ties right back into the core spiritist message. The doctrine demands commitment. It urges us to get up and do something with our lives.
Take responsibility.
Personal responsibility. Action. Not just endlessly rehashing problems. Compassion is key, yes, but endless listening without encouraging action. That doesn't help anyone grow, really.
Sure.
Neither the listener nor the one talking.
So saying no in that context is actually helpful, like tough love.
Exactly. It's a form of spiritual tough love. It pushes towards self-reflection, self-reliance. It's saying no to letting people avoid their own spiritual work and yes to their inherent strength to do it.
That's a powerful way to look at it. Compassion with boundaries. Now, shifting slightly, Mayse also tackles a big misconception about death, right? This idea that as soon as we die, poof, we're free from all our human stuff.
Oh yeah, common fantasy. She's very clear. We don't free ourselves from our humanity just by dropping the body. We might be met by loved ones, sure, but our questions, our issues, they continue.
So no instant enlightenment, no invisible wings.
No invisible wings, no getting instant revenge on old flames from some lofty cloud, as the source humorously puts it. It's just not like that.
So what is death then in this view?
It's a transition. Only a stage in this body and on this planet. We rest, we reflect on the life just lived, and then we move on. Maybe to another planet, another school. But our core self, our unresolved stuff, comes with us until we truly learn and evolve.
A clear no to the idea of an easy escape hatch.
Definitely.
Which makes Earth, well, pretty important then, not just some random stopover.
Hugely important. Mayse stresses that Earth is a fundamental planet for us. Why? It was here that we erred many times, and it is here that we have to decide our things.
Our main classroom, our testing ground.
Precisely. Where we fix our mistakes, where we grow, and even thinking about the planet's future, with all the anxieties about destruction. Chico Xavier had some wisdom on that.
What did he say? About, like, nuclear war or something?
Someone asked him about an atomic bomb destroying Earth, and Chico, with his usual calm faith, just said, "Don't worry, God loves us so much that he will give us another world to live in."
Wow. That's comforting. It's not saying destruction is okay, but it's a no to the idea that human error is the absolute end.
Exactly. It's a reassurance of divine love providing a path, always. The school itself is protected in the grand scheme.
Because, as Mayse puts it, Earth will remain because the governor of Earth is Jesus. His influence, his guidance is constant. And he never says no to our positive evolutionary intentions, our genuine efforts to improve, to grow spiritually. That's always supported.
Which brings us back to the internal no, the one we need for our own progress. Mayse talks about personalism.
Yes, personalism. That attitude of, only I know, or you're wrong, my thinking is right. That self-centeredness.
Believing your own perspective is the only valid one.
Right. It's super common, and it's a massive barrier to growth. The ego just digging its heels in.
It really is pervasive, isn't it? That quiet little yes to our own rightness, which is actually a big no to learning from others.
It builds walls. So the antidote, Mayse says, the way to overcome it is openness. To listen to the other, look at the other, know the other, embrace the other, understand the other, not have any kind of prejudice.
Radical openness. Exactly. That's how we say no to all the imbalances that we like to cultivate inside the pride, the judgment. It's about humility, connection, seeing everyone as a fellow learner.
Saying no to our own rigidity allows us to say yes to connection and growth. That's a powerful reframe. And Mayse has that other theory, too, the more sophisticated one, about Jesus passing the ruler.
Yes. The idea that many souls came to Earth at a certain point, specifically those who struggled elsewhere.
Struggled with what?
With discipline, mainly. Souls who do not accept discipline, do not accept being good, do not accept respecting their neighbor, do not accept the directives, the laws, the rules.
Souls who cause trouble, basically.
Yeah, leading to widespread troublemaking here.
Yeah.
Social friction, conflict, irresponsibility. Not everyone, of course, many are building heaven on earth. But Mayse suggests a lot of souls still operate under the illusion that there are no consequences beyond physical life.
And that's a belief we need to say a firm no to.
Absolutely. It's dangerous. As Chico Xavier said, I work because whoever doesn't work gives a lot of work. Meaning, those who don't take responsibility burden the spiritual mentors. Our mistakes, our troublemaking, cause sadness on the other side and create consequences for us down the line.
It really drives home the weight of our choices here. So, okay, saying no. It's not just about others, it's setting limits for ourselves. What does that look like practically?
Mayse defines it beautifully. Setting limits for ourselves and others. It's an ongoing process. Self-education, renewal of attitudes, discipline of forces.
So actively working on ourselves.
Yes. Saying no to the negative stuff inside. Our ill will, our egoism and pride, our vanity, that whole I'm the only one who gets it mentality.
Which is so easy to fall into.
And sad if we pass it on, she says, because all of us are fallible and need to always be starting over. It requires humility, constantly checking ourselves, saying no to getting stuck.
And this idea, setting limits, renewing attitudes, it applies hugely to relationships, doesn't it? Saying no to false promises, to leading people on.
Oh, critically. Mayse uses that example. Someone knows Fulani is in love with me, so they date her, but without any real intention.
Setting her up for heartbreak.
Exactly. Generating an expectation of affection. That's failing to say an internal no to using someone's feelings. Then when they decide, I don't want this anymore, even if she says it's okay, the damage is often done. A deep wound.
And Mayse makes that observation about recovery differences.
She does, quite candidly, observing that, in her experience, men have an impressive speed in recovering emotionally, often moving on quickly, where she sees women often drag chains, staying attached, wondering about him while the guy doesn't even know your name anymore.
That's a stark observation.
It is, and she presents it as a pattern, a challenge, especially for women, to say no to holding on to that hurt, those unmet expectations.
So it's not about blame, but about recognizing patterns and the need for self-protection, for letting go.
Precisely. And Mayse balances it with this hope for effective men. Men who do feel deeply, who maybe cry in hiding after a breakup. Because, she adds, tomorrow they may reincarnate as women.
Ah, the long view, karma and empathy.
Exactly. It's a call for empathy across the board. Saying no to casual cruelty, saying yes to real respectful connection, that protects everyone's journey.
That's beautifully put. And sometimes the best lessons about saying no to resentment come from surprising places, like Mayse's great niece, who isn't even 3.
Oh, this story is amazing. First day of school, a little boy kicks her hard. So hard in the leg that she limped for 2 days.
Oh, poor thing. The family must have been furious.
Mayse's 86-year-old mother, the great-grandmother, was livid, protective rage, But the very next day, they get a photo.
Wait a...
It's the great niece holding hands with the very boy who kicked her.
What? After limping for 2 days, holding his hand? How?
Right. Mayse's reaction was like, I need to meet this child. Your generation can't repeat our mistakes. She jokes about the kids' smooth talk, but the deeper point.
The eternal soul.
Yes. This little girl, maybe an old soul who's experienced so much, just returns and forgives. Instantly. Breaks the cycle. It's an intuitive no to holding on to hurt. A profound yes to immediate peace. It shows how deep that capacity for love can be.
That's truly profound. Makes you reflect on the grudges we adults hold on to. Which brings us back to that idea Mayse mentioned, fulano, the ghost of relationships past.
Exactly, that trap, especially she noted for women. Someone says, oh, I'm so happy now, my husband is wonderful. But I don't forget fulano. Even if fulano was a terrible boyfriend, didn't commit, he's still there, emotionally. A ghost preventing full presence in the now.
A subtle no to current happiness.
Right. It keeps him tethered to the past.
So what's Mayse's advice? How do you exercise that ghost?
Her message is strong. A call for radical self-worth. We women are dangerous. We must value ourselves and say yes to everyone who values us, and say a very big no to whoever did not know how to find the wonderful person we were within us.
Wow. Draw the line. Value yourself.
Unequivocally. Recognize your worth. Refuse to let past hurts or ghosts define your present. It's a firm no to clinging to what wasn't right, and a wholehearted embrace of what is and what could be, taking ownership of your emotional well-being.
A powerful call to action. And this theme, saying no to limitations to build something positive, we see it in the story of Donna Margarita too, right?
Oh, absolutely. Donna Margarita. Wealthy woman, suffered mental illness, recovered, embraced spiritism, and had this vision.
To help boys.
Yes, needy boys. Help them learn a trade, get an education, get meals, a path to a better life. She got 6 wealthy friends together in her small town, Piram.
But she felt overwhelmed, like it wasn't enough.
Exactly. The scale of the need felt huge, their group felt small, doubts crept in, those internal no's. So she went to Chico Xavier.
And he gave her that amazing pep talk.
He did, that famous line, Margarita, Jesus changed the world with 12, won't you change Piram with 6?
Boom, perspective shift.
Totally. It was a powerful no to her doubts, a huge yes to their potential. It completely energized her, and her work flourished. It still continues today, an incredible legacy.
It just shows, doesn't it? When you are willing to say no to everything that prevents goodness, beauty, hope, faith, you build wonders. Don't let the how stop the what.
Precisely. And that commitment, that authenticity in doing good work, it has lasting power. Mayse talks about how work that truly comes from the light endures.
How so?
If it's genuine, aligned with good principles, she says, the spiritual world will be with him, the years will pass, the person will continue, and the forces as good will be with him. It lasts, it grows, it proves itself over time.
But what if it's not genuine? If it's driven by ego or something else?
Then Mayse offers a pretty stark warning. Eventually, one day, no matter when or how, people start asking, whatever happened to Fulano? He seemed so balanced. Stories emerge, truths come out.
And
she uses this powerful metaphor in Spiritism. When stories emerge that are true, it's like a horse's hoof when it breaks, there's no way to fix it anymore.
wow, irreparable damage.
Yeah. It speaks to the karmic blowback, the consequences of failing your spiritual task, of hypocrisy. It's a universal no to inauthenticity, especially in spiritual matters. The repercussions are serious and lasting.
That image, the broken hoof, it really sticks with you. Underscores the need for integrity. Okay, let's shift gears a bit to a movie classic, My Fair Lady, for a lesson on no.
Yeah, Mayse uses a scene from it beautifully. It contrasts so sharply with modern impatience in relationships.
Which scene?
The young man, Freddie, deeply in love, brings Eliza flowers. But the housekeeper says Eliza's upset she won't receive anyone for weeks.
So he gets rejected, basically. A no to seeing her right now.
Right. In his response, no anger, no storming off. He just says, quietly, devotedly, don't worry, I'll wait.
And then he sings,
I'm on the street where you live. Patient, enduring, respectful love. Mayse contrasts that with today. Today, in 5 minutes, he gives you a beating. And is already incredibly impatient with you.
ouch. A harsh but maybe fair critique of instant gratification culture.
It highlights the loss of that patience, that devotion. For Mayse, this story is about saying no to yesterday, that horrible yesterday, moving beyond past hurts, but also cultivating affection for another dimension.
What does she mean by that?
Recognizing that, honestly, for many of us, this lifetime might not be the one for perfect romantic happiness. Because we are the past in the form of the present, we meet souls we have history with, karma with.
So until we heal those old wounds, learn those lessons.
Life might gently say no to that kind of fulfillment yet. It requires patience, empathy, a long view, understanding that happiness unfolds across lifetimes, not just this one. Saying no to demanding it all now.
That's a really deep spiritual take on patience and love, and this need to say no to procrastination, negativity. It even comes down to daily life, right? Like Mayse's broken appliances.
Yes, that was a great anecdote. Her washing machine, shower heater, water filter, candle, all working fine for 30 years, all decided to break in the same week.
Seriously, all at once.
Apparently. The universe sending a message. You can't leave everything for next week, because suddenly it all lands on you at once.
A practical lesson in not putting things off.
Exactly. And she learned the hard way about that karaoke saying, Camarón que duerme onda leva. The shrimp that sleeps gets carried away by the wave.
Meaning, stay alert, be proactive.
Yep. Don't be passive. Be present. Deal with things. It's a funny but potent warning against spiritual laziness, mental inertia. Say no to complacency.
So take care of the small stuff before it becomes big stuff.
Right. Take care of yourself, your home. Make your environment joyful, peaceful. And consciously say no to thoughts that want to bring us down, that want to make us sad.
How? Any practical tips?
She suggests things like reading aloud, not just for info, but to physically shift the energy in the room, lift your own spirits, actively choose positivity, say no to apathy.
It all comes back to being awake, being vigilant, doesn't it? Like that Paulo Gustavo quote Mayse mentioned.
Quem nasce no Maier non bobia. He who is born in Maier doesn't goof around, doesn't get caught sleeping.
Stay sharp, stay committed, say no to just drifting along.
Exactly. Be intentional on the journey.
Wow, what an incredible exploration we've had today. This whole idea of saying no. It's just so much more than refusal, isn't it?
So much more.
It's this vital tool for setting limits, finding balance, for self-education, for taking action. We saw it with Raul Teixeira's Not Yet.
The ultimate spiritual boundary.
And Donna Margarita saying no to her doubts to build something amazing.
Even in My Fair Lady, saying no to impatience.
Right. The power of a well-placed no, whether from the spiritual world, from ourselves, or learned from others, it just echoes through everything.
It really does. And understanding that saying no to our own, ego, or to commitments we can't keep, or old grudges, or negative thinking, that's what lets us say a real, authentic yes.
Yes to what matters.
To growth, to our mission, to genuine connection. It's about taking ownership, realizing these boundaries, these no's, are actually essential for moving forward. They don't close us off, they free us up.
Beautifully said. So as we wrap up this deep dive, let's leave everyone with a final thought to chew on, inspired by Mayse Braga.
Okay.
She spoke of striving to go to Jesus without disappointing him once more, promising that wherever we are, with whoever we are, in whatever way we are, we will simply be satisfied to still be in the body of flesh, traversing the happy stage, God willing, that we still have on earth.
Simply satisfied.
Yeah. What might it mean for you, listening right now, to be simply satisfied in your current stage? Not resigned, but truly accepting and committed. How can consciously choosing your yeses and your nos help you get there?
Powerful question.
How will you use that power of no to shape your journey, to let go of what's holding you back and fully embrace where you are right now with all its lessons? Something to reflect on.